New York City's history begins in the early 17th century when it was founded as New Amsterdam by Dutch settlers in 1624. Located on the southern tip of Manhattan Island, the settlement grew as a trading post for fur and other goods with Native American tribes in the region. Under Dutch governance, New Amsterdam flourished as a diverse community of traders, craftsmen, and immigrants from Europe and Africa. The colony expanded its influence along the Hudson River and established a fortification at present-day Albany. In 1664, the British seized control of New Amsterdam, renaming it New York after the Duke of York. The city became a pivotal British colonial outpost in North America. Following the American Revolution, New York briefly served as the nation's capital from 1785 to 1790. Hosting the inauguration of President George Washington and the drafting of the United States Constitution. Throughout the 19th century, New York City underwent rapid industrialization fueled by immigration, commerce, and technological advancements. The Erie Canal's completion in 1825 connected the city to the interior of the country, further boosting its economic growth. From the mid-19th century onwards, New York City became a magnet for immigrants from Europe, Asia, and beyond. Neighborhoods like Chinatown, Little Italy, and the Lower East Side flourished with cultural diversity, contributing to the city's vibrant identity. During the late 19th century Gilded Age, New York City saw the rise of wealthy industrialists such as the Vanderbilts, Rockefellers, and Carnegies. Iconic landmarks like the Brooklyn Bridge and the Statue of Liberty were completed, symbolizing America's industrial might and welcoming immigrants. At the turn of the 20th century, New York City experienced progressive reforms in labor laws, public health, and urban planning under leaders like Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia. The era also saw the construction of the New York City subway system, revolutionizing urban transportation. The 1920s brought cultural vibrancy to New York City with the Harlem Renaissance showcasing African-American arts and literature, while Broadway theaters flourished and jazz music filled Harlem's nightclubs. The Great Depression of the 1930s brought economic hardship to New York City, leading to unemployment, homelessness, and social unrest. Government programs like the Works Progress Administration (WPA) provided relief and infrastructure projects. During World War II, New York City played a crucial role as a military hub, with shipyards, docks, and factories supporting the war effort. Post-war, the city experienced an economic boom, suburbanization, and the construction of public housing projects. The 1950s and 1960s witnessed civil rights activism in New York City, led by figures like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. Urban renewal projects like Lincoln Center and the redevelopment of Times Square aimed to modernize the city. The late 1960s and 1970s saw a cultural renaissance in New York City with the rise of pop art, punk rock, and avant-garde theater. Greenwich Village and the East Village became centers of counterculture and artistic experimentation. By the 1980s, New York City solidified its status as the global financial capital, with Wall Street leading international finance and corporate headquarters. The city's skyline expanded with iconic skyscrapers like the World Trade Center. The 1990s and early 2000s brought challenges such as crime, racial tensions, and economic disparities. However, New York City's resilience was tested and proven during the aftermath of the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks. In the 21st century, New York City underwent revitalization with the redevelopment of Lower Manhattan, the High Line Park, and the revitalization of neighborhoods like Brooklyn's DUMBO and Williamsburg. Today, New York City remains a cultural mecca with world-renowned museums like the Metropolitan Museum of Art and the Museum of Modern Art MoMA, Broadway theaters, and diverse culinary experiences. New York City has become a hub for innovation and technology startups, with Silicon Alley in Manhattan and Brooklyn's Tech Triangle fostering entrepreneurship and digital creativity. The city has committed to sustainability with initiatives like bike-sharing programs, green building standards, and efforts to reduce carbon emissions, ensuring a more resilient future. Looking ahead, New York City faces challenges such as affordable housing, transportation infrastructure improvements, and climate change adaptation. However, its history of resilience, cultural richness, and economic vitality continue to shape its future as a global city and beacon of opportunity.